This is we're going to talk today about this 37 Chevrolet Coupe. It's driven by a guy named Will Cagle. It was built in the early 60s and quite a race car, called modified. He ran 327s in them, 265s, whatever you could do, he ran in it. And the car basically looks, as you see it, when I got it, it was a total wreck. And the body was all, from here up was okay. From here down, it was terrible. So we went in and it had been put on the internet. The car could never be restored again. Well, we went in and started restoring it. The frame was so bad that we came in and built the frame from scratch. And this resembles, it's supposed to be a 54 Chevrolet frame. And they call them top hat frames because they were square tubing, but they had a rail on the outside. And if you turn it over, it looked like a top hat. Well, we took and built the whole thing exactly like the frame, then the original frame. We measured it, we put all the turns and everything in it, the dips, and made it exactly the same. And then we copied what Will had done back in the early 60s. The car was junk, but we got it back to this point, and I'm getting ready to trade this tomorrow for a 1964 Fairlane that was a clone of a Thunderbolt. So this car will be gone after today. This hood, my guy Joe that works with me, he built it, and it was his hood like it was on Will's car, and very flimsy. He built the scoop, we put it on there, and you can see how it looks underneath. We took the whole frame and everything, the firewall, this is all powder coated, everything on it is powder coated, and turned it into a really nice car. And if you want to come over to the other window, I'll be open. I'll show you some. Don't get hurt. Okay. So we made it like Will had it in the early days, just a flat dash with two gauges, oil pressure, water temperature. And what's really odd about this car, this is the shifters here. You would put it in reverse, and then you'd put it back into neutral, then you'd put it into second and shift into third. So you had low, reverse, second, third, and it was a lot of finagling around. But it worked, and nobody had a shifter here on the floor until later on. Well, it was also, in order to clear the linkage underneath it, it was brought up 4 inches. We did the same thing. And I found out after I did it that I was a little too tall to fit in the car. So if I were driving the car, I'd have to drop it down and put a regular shifter in it. This is the battery box, and it's in an odd place. It's up high, but originally the car, the battery box is right here, and it's set up about this high, but we didn't like the idea of it being there, so we moved it down here. But everything inside of it's powder coating. Powder coated. Okay. This, I'm sure you noticed on the front bumper how heavy they are. The same thing back here. These cars, they weren't nice to the other drivers. They would run into you and push you out of the way. And that's one of the reasons they had a real large following, was because how aggressive the driving was in these things. And usually they were beat up, banged up, bent, burn up, and everything, and when you raced them. So there were no pretty cars on the track. That's where I'm going with this. It had a quick change originally, and I had this Bell Franklin Super Comp Bell rear end. It's a quick change that I put on in it because I had it. So that's about all there is about the car. The guys that drive them love them. People that used to watch them love them. And I get a lot of response on this.
Where's the powertrain?
The powertrain is over here. I'll show it to you. Here's the engine. It's a 350 4-bolt main, complete. It had never been bored. I got it from a guy. It's a 82 truck motor, and he had been driving the truck and parked it. So I pulled it out, had it rebored and remachined, and the engine's brand new, never been cranked. The transmission is back here, and it's a 3-speed transmission and the bell housing. So that's the powertrain for it. I got the clutch, pressure plate, and flywheel for it also, but it should run good. I've never cranked it, never done anything with it.
Pretty hot street motor?
Oh, it'd be too much.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you couldn't drive it on the street.